Anti-Afro Svengalis. Now listen, I'm ready to tell you what happened. This is the time. This is the place. And it's going to be in 2 videos. What I'm going to do, I'm going to tell you up front what occurred. I'm going to play a couple of clips. The first, and they're very brief. The first few clips, you're going to know by what you see who I'm talking about, because I'm not going to say this person's name. The third clip, you're going to hear a conversation. The clip that you're going to hear was posted on April 13th. Ask yourselves whether or not you think a lesson has been learned. What am I talking about? The date that I'm referring to, look at it right here. There's a signature. I'm only showing the signature. It is March 29th, 2021. This is the date where the person you're going to see in a few seconds signed a document, an agreement of disciplinary infraction. However, on the 13th of April, you have to ask yourself, was a lesson learned? I think what I should do before I tell you what happened, I need to go ahead and play the clip. Brief clip. Stay tuned and I will return.
This is D.Derell at the practice. This is D.Derell at the practice. My name is Dempsey Spears. Dempsey Spears.
So what specifically did this person do? This person defrauded the U.S. government, stole Medicare funds to the tune of $8,000 and other illegal activities. I'm going to be very specific as to what this individual did. There are 2 parts to this video. I'm just giving you the facts. I'm not going to make you wait for part 2 because it's already being posted. It says the respondent is licensed as a professional counselor and it gives the license number. So it says between March 2015 and May 2015, respondent submitted reimbursement claims to a Medicaid provider totaling $8,005.14 for services not mutually agreed upon by the clients and the respondent. Then it says on or about October 2015 to October 2015, respondent failed to maintain complete and accurate client records that included consent to treatment forms and billing records. Then it says on or about December 5th, 2017 to October 24th, 2018, respondent used a national provider identifier number of another counselor to bill for services not rendered by the respondent. This investigation was going on at the same time that my complaint had gone in. This situation could have been catastrophic for this person, but he struck a deal. My complaint was left with him getting a warning, a written warning, and I'm waiting to see if they're going to post that warning. I got a letter involving the outcome of my complaint, and the person, when the attorney called me and was wanting me to give all of this information, had sent me emails, there was a negotiation going on about what would happen to all of this, because it wasn't just my complaint that had gone in. There were others had gone in, and this billing fraud. And I cannot tell you the huge implications of this billing fraud. I'm going to go into that during part two. Clip you are going to hear was posted on April 13th, 2021, obviously after this was signed. I want you to think about whether you believe any type of lesson has been learned. Don't forget to stay tuned because we're going to meet up in part two. Meanwhile, you know the drill. Buyer, beware.
They have to tune in, to see if you're acting untherapist like. But nobody questions the behavior of a marriage and family therapist who just so happens to be compulsive and obsessed over Umar Johnson and doing all of the illogical things that she's doing that can be deemed allegedly as some form of mental illness. But nobody questions that. This whole thing about the ethical bullshit, like guys, unless you have paid me a dime, you signed some consent forms, or I gave you a referral, or a referral came to me that basically have provided some level of direct or indirect contact, you are not my client, and I am not obligated to treat you as such. So could y'all please quit using the weak ass the therapist comment, because it holds no water. My board cares less about how I do YouTube and so forth if you're not my client, or unless I'm miseducating people on counseling and psychology, which I have never done and never will do. So until I do something like that, that's a weak argument that does not deserve my response. Oh, you a therapist and you acting like that? Well, first of all, half of you all have never seen a therapist, unfortunately, and many of you actually need one, and you don't know what a therapist acts like. You don't know. You've never even been in a therapeutic situation. So how are you going to tell what a therapist is supposed to act like or not when you haven't even been in the field? You're not even educated. You don't even know anything about the process itself or that service. In therapy, you do know therapists do curse in therapy, and we curse a lot. We do curse. I say motherfucker. I say that's bullshit. I tell people you're acting like an asshole. If it's, but I'm doing it in a means in which it's a therapeutic way in which you can call what we call swearing. So if I'm talking to a person that's hooded out and they curse a lot, I may have to speak a little bit like that to get their attention. They may not respond as well to more gentle language. I may have to sometimes speak in a more aggressive language to get them to respond. A lot of therapy is very intense. Yes, there will be cursing, there will be yelling. That could be, and particularly if you're doing anger management type stuff or traumatic type stuff that's going on. Particularly when I'm doing marital counseling, there's definitely a lot of yelling and arguing and different things that go on between clients and so forth. Like today, I talked about on my Life Solutions channel, I had a very intense uh, marital therapy session with two adults, with this black couple. That shit was, I needed a break from that. That was an hour and 15 minutes of intense therapeutic work. And in that conversation, there was abuse that was talked about. That was all kinds of shit that was going on. There was a lot of cursing, yelling at each other, mad, disappointed. They said all types of ill things about, and then I had to and I couldn't softly and gently interact to maintain the proper interaction. No, I had to talk in an aggressive manner. But you wouldn't understand that. You're not a therapist, but you want to question me and my ethics and what I've been doing for almost 20 years. I know what I'm doing, and I know what I can't do. You think I would come on YouTube and do some dumb shit to miseducate an already a people that's already that has a lot of ignorance? Why would I add on to the ignorance by miseducating people that need to be woke?